our nation's southern border. Desperation, dehydration, and for some, even death. The horror that has become the road to the American dream amid allegations from a Texas trooper pleading with his superiors to operate, quote, correctly in the eyes of God after encountering a father lacerated his leg while trying to free his child from a barrel wrapped in casualty wire. The trooper writing in a report that his shift officer gave his group orders to, quote, push people back into the water, tell them to go to Mexico and drive away. The troopers were also allegedly ordered not to give migrants water despite the excruciating Texas summer temperatures. On the other side of the border, the Mexican government taking more than 500 migrants into custody in just 2 days. The immigration crisis, a hemispheric one, reaching its boiling point right here at home. And with a gridlock Congress, we talked to a Texas state senator who is sounding the alarm on the need for immigration reform. But first, ABC's Matt Rivers leads us off from Texas.
Tonight, the Texas Department of Public Safety under investigation after concerning claims that troopers, and in some cases the Texas National Guard, were directed to push migrants back into the Rio Grande River and deny them water in the scorching heat. ABC News obtaining an email sent by a Texas DPS trooper to a superior earlier this month. The trooper reporting on conditions he said he had witnessed, writing, quote, I believe we have stepped over a line into the inhumane. The trooper describing a patrol on June 25th when they came across a large group of exhausted and hungry migrants, among them, quote, several small children and babies who were nursing. The trooper writing, quote, we were given orders to push the people back into the water to go to Mexico, adding, quote, we decided this was not the correct thing to do with the very real potential of exhausted people drowning. Their command allegedly repeating the order to push migrants back despite the trooper's concerns. That trooper also warning about the newly installed razor wire along the Rio Grande. ABC News obtaining gruesome photos showing injuries caused by the wire. In his email, the trooper saying the wire forces people to cross in unsafe areas. He says 5 people drowned earlier this month, including children. Today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott's office defended the barbed wire and other measures, stating in part, Texas is deploying every tool and strategy to deter and repel illegal crossings between ports of entry. The White House today responding to the reports.
The human indecency that we're seeing, potentially, if this is true, is just wrong. It is just completely wrong.
Matt joins us now. Matt, what does the Texas Department of Public Safety have to say about all of this tonight?
Yeah, Phil, the Texas Department of Public Safety pushing back on these allegations, though its director did call for a, quote, full audit of its protocols. Meanwhile, remember, the Texas National Guard also amongst these allegations. The Texas Military Department responding in a statement saying, quote, there is no order or directive instructing service members to push illegal immigrants back into the river or deny them drinking water. Phil?
All right, Matt Rivers in San Antonio. Matt, stand by for me, if you will. I want to bring in right now Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez, who is also running against U.S. Senator Ted Cruz for his seat. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. I want to read your reaction to today's news in a tweet. You tweeted, they left defenseless kids to die in Uvalde. It's not hard to believe they'd send defenseless children at the border to their death. It's not about security. It's about cruelty. It's BS, and I'll fight against this with everything I have. Sir, I was with you in Uvalde the day after that horror, and you were angry then, too. I feel that from your tweet. You've sent a letter to the Department of Justice demanding an investigation, but have you reached out and talked to DPS Chief Steve McCraw?
As recently as last night, Phil, and thank you for having me, by the way. As recently as last night, I spoke to DPS Troop Steve McCraw. He will not confirm to me how many deaths had occurred. He claims that they're still investigating this issue. I call all of it into question. This is the same DPS agency that has refused to have any kind of real accountability on Uvalde. We know here from this email that we have a medic within the Department of Public Safety that had a crisis of conscience that said we are treating these people in a horrible, inhumane way. And we know that it's true because we saw the pictures that were put out by DPS. The rest of that email suggests that a woman and her 2 little girls died. We need to have real transparency from this agency, Phil, and we're just not having any of it right now.
So, you know, we've reported on the shortcomings of Operation Lone Star that even led to the drowning of a National Guardsman. Do you think it's time to end the program?
Phil, this isn't immigration strategy. Whatever Greg Abbott thinks it is, this is not immigration strategy. If it were immigration strategy, we would be able to arrest these folks, send them over to Border Patrol for processing. The big lie is that these people are coming into the country. The fact is most of these people get deported many times in the same day. Yes, some are asylum is available for them, but we have to be able to have a real discussion with people in Texas and throughout this country. Greg Abbott has done stunt after stunt, but this is a bridge too far that is leading into the deaths of children. It's simply wrong.
Well, inhumane treatment, sir, and denying anyone water is never okay. Most agree with that. Texas state officials, you know, are being pushed to the brink. Are you equally as upset at federal officials who have allowed this situation to spiral?
Well, absolutely, Phil. I mean, we have to figure out a solution to the problem, no doubt. But we have to be able to talk about it, number one. We have to tell the truth about it, number two. And we have to come up with solutions that make sense. What Greg Abbott has done have been nothing more than more and more stunts that have been proven to not deter anybody. This is not about holding the line, as Steve McCraw said in a statement today. We're not in a military operation. You want to grab people and deport them, then do that. But this is not immigration policy from the office of Greg Abbott. We need to have a very serious discussion. Right now, we are hurting people, and what's happening isn't right. Since the implementation of Title VIII 6 weeks ago, we have seen a reduction in numbers, but this recent chaos is solely and wholly at Greg Abbott's hands.
All right, currently you are running against Senator Ted Cruz. Congress is consistently in a deadlock over immigration reform, no matter who is in the White House. How would you help move the needle on this topic if you were to make it to Congress?
Well, let's have some real solutions. Let's have the Department of Labor weigh in. Let's have admissions to this country begin in the country of origin, because we can do that. Let's have a discussion on how we're going to use the DEA in conjunction with Mexican authorities to go after cartels. We can do effective policies. Our farmers and our ranchers want to fix our H-2A program and our H-2B seasonal worker program. Our construction and hospitality industries want to have labor where Americans on jobs that Americans simply don't want to do. But we have to have a dialogue. We have to resolve the problem of our dreamers and the 12 million undocumented that have been here for over 20 years. The solutions are right there in front of us, but we have to stop punting this football back and forth. We have to have a real, truthful dialogue rather than just simple provocations.
Senator, I'd like to bring back Matt Rivers, who, as you know, is reporting on this for us. Matt, you've got a question for the senator?
Yeah, thanks so much, Senator, for your time. You know, we've been down at the border quite a bit over the last couple of months. The Biden administration has said that the number of crossings going down is a win. But the fact of the matter is, as we've seen firsthand, the number of migrants continues to build on the Mexico side. This is not a problem that's going to go away, and it's not a problem that's going to get solved at the border itself. So were you to be elected, what would be your plan to address the root causes of migration in the Western Hemisphere, in these countries where these migrants are being forced to come from?
Bill, these are real serious problems, and it's going to require men and women in suits with serious solutions, with diplomacy with countries like Venezuela and countries in Central America and South America to discuss what's truly ailing those countries for sure. But we also have to have a discussion on our needs as a nation and how we can best address this. Through our consulates and countries of origin, we can begin this process in a right way rather than have people amass at the border in this fashion. But all of that has to happen with a Congress that's willing to create this change. Right now, that's simply not happening.
All right. Once again, Matt Rivers, thank you. And Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez, we appreciate your time as well.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.